if you consider this as a friend, right, as an intelligent assistant which is given to you free or at a nominal cost, then that will probably add on to what you are doing, right? So I was just reading or watching somewhere, with AI replace doctor's job. I think someone said no, AI will not replace doctors, but AI will replace a doctor who doesn't know AI with a doctor who knows AI.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is quite the buzzword these days. Many of us would not have missed the news pouring in about AI. Sometimes it's promising, and at times it isn't reassuring. But Ankush Sabharwal, founder and CEO of CoRover, believes AI is more than a buzzword. It is here to stay, simply because an average human is already relying on AI in ways that they don't realize. CoRover is a platform for conversational AI, the kind of AI chatbot as a service that we encounter through customer support with organizations. The company is also the brainchild behind AskSarkar, an app that helps citizens better access and resolve issues about government services. Behind Indian Railways virtual assistant DISHA, and also BharatGPT, our very own version of ChatGPT that supports 12 Indian languages and over 120 foreign languages. A graduate of BITS Pilani and IIM Calcutta, Sabirwal has over 15 years' experience in the SaaS space and is a member of the invite only Forbes Technology Council. He has appeared on many media outlets offering his opinion on the fast paced growth of AI. Before we jump into the conversation, please do subscribe and, more importantly, would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. Hello, Mr. Ankush. Welcome to Maharani Talks. I'm very excited to chat with you, considering all the buzzword nowadays with AI.
Absolutely.
For the sake of our listeners, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work in this field, particularly what made you enter this field of AI?
Yeah, my name is Ankush Sabharwal, and we started this journey of core over around 7 years ago. The AI was there; it was not much talked about as now. And in fact, the conversational AI, if I go a little deep into AI, and one of the subset of AI field is conversational AI, again, which is much talked about because of Gen AI innovation happening here. And very fortunate, right? I am using this word very carefully. We are very, very fortunate, the people who are started talking, implementing, creating something around conversational AI. We had started around 7 years ago, and maybe there was definitely a need of it, and people had already started solving problems with AI and conversational AI, and we thought, hey, this is definitely the right problem which has to be solved at scale, and AI is definitely a solution. The problem is was there, and it's not only we had identified; everyone had identified the problem of connecting consumers to each other and the service providers. And solution was already there, like AI and conversational AI. It was not much talked about, but people were implementing those in silos. We did that differently, but we were facing difficulty in explaining to our clients, businesses, say, hey, problem is real, they acknowledge, but they say, hey, this can really solve it. It will solve not just to save money, but it'll also help you earn money. It was very, very difficult for us. Sometimes even it took around 2 years to convince one client. Can you imagine? Now, right, everyone knows.
It's been a title shift.
Yeah, so now it's all about they identifying specific use case, which right partner and all that. So it's different challenges now, but at least we convincing client, hey, this kind of solution works. That problem is not there now. It's just about saying, hey, we are better and we can solve your problem efficient way. But now everyone knows the kind of product we have definitely is going to solve, but we just have to prove we solve it efficiently than others.
But 7 years back, what made you think, okay, I want to get into AI?
You see, the consumers were growing. It's not just the population was growing. Consumers were growing means liquidity was coming up, right? People were able to buy stuff, more stuff than earlier. Plus, their accessibility to the service provider and the companies that also increased because of the increase in mobile phones, increase in the network. People could reach out to their service provider by phone, by Twitter, Instagram, and whatnot, right? So sometimes the same set of consumers, but earlier not everyone was reaching out to their service provider, say, "Hey, I bought this product and it's not good," right? People were just sometimes they were kind of cribbing about it, but they were not reaching out to the service provider. But when the technology came up and the accessibility reached out, but and then companies cannot have so many people in the call center to just answer people on the phone, right? So then it was very clear evolution to the solution. Hey, the call center is there, and what people do in the call center, they are trained and they know if this question has come and this answer has to be given. I would not say there's no creativity, but less creativity, and I would not say even 100%, but at least 70% of those calls can definitely be identified and automated. Yeah, so that was very easy for us to identify this problem and come into this stage so that everyone gets engaged and everyone gets answers from the service provider. See, the service provider or the companies, it's not like they don't have the answer. They have the answer. But it was kind of getting less of people picking up the call and giving answer, right? And literally it had happened. I had to go to Japan and I was trying calling Air India. And trust me, 1 hour I was on wait because I was driving, my internet was not working somehow around 6, 7 years ago. And I wanted to check how many bags are allowed because I knew if it is US, 2 bags are allowed, in UK, Japan, I was not aware. And I was not getting authentic information from Google, right? Google gives the link.
Yeah.
And they were not picking up, say, okay, you be on hold and all that. And after 1 hour, they just disconnected the phone. I was okay to wait because I was driving. Instead of listening to song, I said, okay, let me be on hold. Okay, let them pick up the phone. At least I would know how many bags are allowed from my airline. But after 1 hour, me being on hold, they just disconnected the call. But you see, the irony is they know the answer, right? It's just a matter of not connecting the right.
That must have been frustrating.
Absolutely. Now, see, with the virtual assistant, it's so easy. Not only saves money for the companies, it also helps customer to get immediate information, accurate information.
So, especially this year, there have been good tidings in the AI industry with the budget the government has allocated and also the semiconductor deal with the US. But is there sufficient talent and startups to make use of this opportunity? Because a recent report showed that only 2.5% of engineers have AI knowledge. So, do we have what it takes to take up this challenge?
Thanks for raising this point. I think that's the main worry. It's a problem at large, and why I'm worried about it. But trust me, it's every company. 60% of the companies are saying, "Hey, they have the short of talent resources," and you're absolutely right. So from the techies, see, only 2.5% techies have the AI skills, and only 5.5% people can actually do programming, and only 60% of those engineering graduates are employable, right? That's more worrying part. With this talent gap, India, I think there was a report I've seen, India is going to lose around $2 trillion by 2030. We'll be lack of around 29 million professionals in AI, right? So I think we have to do everyone, right? It's not just the government, not just universities, institutions, not the ed tech, not just the companies, even students or candidates. I think all levels have to improve the way they learn, right? So now, yes, attacks are playing their role and making gamification of every study. I still think the academia and the industry collaboration is not happening in the true sense. I'm going to make very bold statement. It is happening for the namesake. I really see a gap because when the students are studying and they are doing the courses, they are doing the projects in the industry. I think they know just 1 or 2 months is have fun, and only few people they get serious and they really. I think in a class of 60, maybe 5 or 6 people would be serious and really try to learn from the real projects.
Yeah, there's no practical knowledge being imparted.
People are trying, but not in the true sense, right? So I think if the industry academia collaboration increases, and I think it's a responsibility of industry as well. So if industry is thinking, I will take the real time, I will take the experienced people, I will not care about educating students, I will not care about enabling people learn the right skills. I think the company is going to miss out. If you see the companies like Wipro, right? I started my career with Wipro, and these guys really used to spend a lot of money, effort in training people, right? So they used to hire people and they just used to train. I still remember the one program was FRP, Fundamental Readiness Program. So they used to teach the fundamentals of computer science. And the second was Project Readiness Program. They used to then pick up people, and then they used to train on the skills and the technology which is required for the project. And so it's investment, right? So they are not taking, one way we can think, hey, they are taking cheap resources. That's one way of looking into it. But if you see, they are investing, right, training people, I think. And you see the fundamentally the companies like Sun Microsystems, Java, the Oracle, and the Microsoft, so they were very big in education, right? So they were doing courses. I think nook and corner of the country they used to have certification program and trainings in collaboration with NIIT. I think that was required. So why Oracle did that? Why Sun Microsystem did that? Did they want to make money from the education? I don't think so. Right? I'm not very 100% clear about the agenda, but I don't think so. They really wanted to make money out of it. I think they really wanted people to be enabled in their technology so their technology can be used. Right? That is one motive of them, so that they produce so many Java resources so that companies are forced to use Java because the people are available who know Java. That's one. But also at the same time, the people are also getting enabled. So I think that moment is kind of stopped, which I think. So I think that has to be re-enabled.
And I know that your company CoRover is also working with the government to integrate AI into their systems. So could you talk about how, I mean, especially with BharatGPT, which you're developing, right? How is the government own readiness with AI? Are they all gung ho?
They're very advanced. When you talk to them, you get surprised how much they know, how much they know what is done, how much they know what we need, and how much right. So they are very very aware, and they're committed. Even sometimes get surprised how much knowledge they have and how much commitment they have. Commitment is not just in terms of money and the budgets. Commitment in terms of taking all the stakeholders together and talking in the real sense. And you see when the right folks and the leaders from the bureaucrats and from the ministers, when they talk, and trust me, they really talk less and they really hear the stakeholders. And then when they talk, they know, and they know what has to be done. And sometimes we get surprised. So, and you see the kind of now people, they are there in the bureaucracy and the top government leaders. So they know they keep getting trained, and there's a lot of commitment. I get so much surprised to know their knowledge and their commitment. And it's really helping the country and the companies and citizens, everyone.
Okay, wonderful. Is there any particular AI company's work that really excites you, other than your own, of course?
Yeah, every company excites me, right? I get excited very fast, right? So that's my friends tell me, like, why you get excited with everything? Are you faking it? I said, no, I really liked it. I get excited with every small innovation, and I get inspired by many companies, including competitors. And if you ask one company, of course, is OpenAI had dared enough to come to this field, and see, technology was already there, but the scale which they have added, the scale which they have created, the templates and prompts and all that. They're the only one who dared enough, right? So they also faced a lot of criticism. They're still facing criticism, but they really dared enough to use this completion algorithms for generative AI and giving the answers. So I really get inspired by that's, and even everyone gets inspired, but I really get inspired with any competitor who probably are a little smaller in scale or bigger in scale than us. Everyone is really doing their bit, and there's a huge pie, and I keep learning from everyone.
It is, yeah, considering what has been forecast for the Indian AI industry. In fact, recently the Union IT Minister, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, recently said that the government will regulate AI through the prism of user harm. And they might pass the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill in the Parliament soon. In light of the legal issues, lawsuits that OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, has been facing, and there are no codified laws or regulations yet in India, what issues do you foresee? And considering that AI adaptation is also taking at a very fast pace, are there like really problems that look worrisome ahead?
Absolutely right. So when disruption happens, and of course, so few people like it, few people don't like it, various reasons, and that I'm not seeing many disruptions like this, but I'm sure we heard, right, when the industrial revolution happened. Probably I was not born at that time, but we heard, right. So a lot of strikes used to happen. Then blue collar job was getting automated, and now the white collar jobs are getting automated, right? So it's a real fear to the people who was very settled with what they are doing, and right. So now many cognitive things also. Earlier, cognitive things were not getting replaced, right? Automation was thing, right? Now, even the cognitive things are getting automated. That's a real worry for some. But if you consider this as a friend, right, as an intelligent assistant which is given to you free or at a nominal cost, then that will probably add on to what you're doing, right? So I was just reading or watching somewhere with AI replace doctor's job. I think someone said no, AI will not replace doctors, but AI will replace a doctor who doesn't know AI with a doctor who knows AI.
Right, yeah. So you think it's an eventuality that all of us have to learn to work with AI if we want to progress?
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. And people who think this is just a buzzword, see, I think there are many buzzwords happen, right, in the technology. But this is something which cannot be ignored because knowingly or unknowingly, we are using AI, right? Any product nowadays you see, right? Everyone uses now Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and AI is being heavily used. The YouTube's recommendation engines and in many medical systems, in predictions, in the disease predictions. I think we definitely cannot ignore AI. But yeah, what use case? We don't have to go so much go about it and try to use AI everywhere. No, see, somewhere it's very clear rule based system, or we know what to do when if this happens. Don't try to force AI because AI can go wrong, right?
Yeah.
When we are very clear about a few conditions and the outcome, you don't need to use AI. But when a lot of parameters are required to take a decision, so then I think AI must be explored to be used.
A lot of people also think that AI will make us lazy, reduce our critical thinking or our creativity. Do you think that's the case? You know how everyone is using ChatGPT to just write their resumes or summaries and
That's one way of looking at it. Second is you write a good resume and get a good job faster and then start working on a better thing fast. Otherwise, you'll take 3 months to write a resume probably and you're losing the 3 months. Did you watch one video was getting viral in WhatsApp? Say, hey, when someone in the Europe will say, hey, what is this machine? And he said, hey, this is the machine to wash the clothes. And what is this machine? And they, hey, this is the machine to keep the things cold and keep the things preserved for long. It was a fridge. And people didn't believe, said, hey, it will make, then what will we do? What will we do? Right? It will make us lazy. But now, if the clothes can be washed faster, then you can use that time for other productive things.
Right, true. But working in the AI field, you're obviously, pro AI. But is there something about AI that makes you a little wary?
Absolutely. Someone I think yesterday asked me, is AI being used in the funds that say ETF or the mutual funds in the financial world to decide which stock to buy? And if it exists, fine. If it doesn't exist, do you think this AI can be used there? And would you personally use it? So, first of all, that answer was yes, it exists, right? There are AI based funds in the US and they are doing pretty well. They are making profits. And but if you ask me, I would not invest my money there because see, there are few things. There's a lot of data. Whenever someone takes a decision to buy a thing, you take whole data, you do technical analysis, you do fundamental analysis, and take a decision to buy. But sometimes there can be sentiments, right? When you have to invest in your own company, maybe even if the data is not correct, but you know the conviction of yourself or your partners, and you say, hey, no, this is the right company. But yeah, but see, few things which we are already taking decisions based on the data and the algorithms, so that can be automated. But I personally would not believe yet. Personally, I think my perception would change for the better algorithms and the better ways to analyze the data. But I think the financial world is something which I'm little skeptical personally. As I said, I there are successful funds and people are doing it.
Talking about data, since AI heavily relies on data to for it to iterate and function, is it possible for us to strike a balance about, this again with the data privacy laws, how much is our data is available for AI for it to work, at optimal level, and how much is too much? So everything that we do is fed to AI, then yeah, what happens?
I think it's not about too much. Better the more the data, better the data. I think the better the parameters to take the decision on. But there are few things which are very important. I think about the AI systems, right? If you have to build a safety net, see the first is inclusivity. we should have the data which should cover the critical mass. It should cover the society. It should take the data from various castes, regions, colors, creeds, based on the solution you are creating. The inclusivity is very important. It's not just you have so much data, but bias towards one gender, probably bias toward one religion, towards one region. That should not be there. That should be inclusive data. Right, but the second is the privacy, which you're talking about, the data protection bill. I think yeah, that's soon coming up. The bill is already there, very well drafted, and that's soon going to become law. That's definitely would should ensure the personal privacy is not getting compromised. Right? The third aspect is the purpose, right? The purpose of any AI system should be good, right? And then because AI can be used in good and in otherwise as well. I think there should be some check and monitors to know the purpose of the AI system being created. And fourth point is also very important: the explainability. So the explainability should be there, how the system is working, right? How the algorithms are working on the data. I should not just give the random answer. So sometimes because of the deep neural networks and deep learning, there is abstraction, and sometimes we would not know the how the actual output has come. But I think we all should work on it. If we don't know, that users should be aware of with proper disclaimers. So this is how, even if the biasness has happened, the biasness can happen because of this, and this has this kind of data. The explainability and the disclaimer should be there in all AI systems.
Yeah, because there have already been issues that's come out in the news where AI was shown to be gender biased or racist or sexist. And in India, the issue of caste discrimination can easily crop in as well. So that's a real challenge to ensure that AI ensures it serves all humans equitably. So I want to talk about, GPAI, which is the Global Partnership AI Council, which is, I think, around now 30 members, 30 countries are members of it. And India is, of course, council chair. And there's going to be a meeting in December this year, if I'm not mistaken, in Delhi.
Yeah.
But what my question is, do you think, as with nuclear technology, with any technology, do you think again AI will be gate kept by the countries that have the most power, which in this case, who are leading this technology, which in this case would be US and China?
You see, first of all, this GPAI is wonderful thing. I think I would say this is the leadership of Rajiv Chandrasekhar sir and mighty Ministry of IT. And yes, you're right. So it started with 15 members, and now there are 29 members, and India is definitely the council chair. And that's all about the human centric and responsible use of data. Right. So of course, I think the data is going to be a major factors to ascertain the richness and the worthiness of a country. So earlier, say so now also it's a gold, oil, and currency, but I think the data is also very important. And yeah, so US has definitely an edge there because the US has already started collecting generating data long back. I think now India is also doing, because now we have around 800 million users who are using smartphones, internet, and we are also using generating data. So the good thing about the data is getting generated, every second, every millisecond, by the businesses, by the consumers. And again, the other good thing about AI is you create the data while you use the data, right? So say, take the example of, say, YouTube, right? So you're generating the data, which videos you're watching the most, which you like, and the pattern can be created. So yeah, so US was definitely advanced. They already created these AI systems, and China, of course, is also doing it. And I think now it's definitely the time for India. You see everyone, thanks to Geo and 5G, with Rashni Vaishnav is launched. So now with 5G, right, so you even get 500 Mbps, 700 Mbps in just with mobile data, right? So it's even more than whatever I get it at home in my Wi-Fi, right? So it's a big backbone for any innovation to happen, right? If the data transfer is happening faster, the bandwidth is increasing. So the more and more companies will start automating more use cases, because the consumers would be able to use, right? Everyone, even if you go to the villages, I have seen even 70 Mbps just with 3G also, right? So in India, the connectivity has really increased, even not just in the city, also in the villages, which I have not seen even in the developed countries, and even in the Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area. We definitely don't get the speed which we get in India, even in the villages. So this is helping generate data, build better AI systems, and better products, and which in turn benefits citizens.
But do you think the accessibility will be gate kept, will be monitored mainly by those more developed countries, or do you think yeah,
Is currently yes, because if you see most of the systems which we are using are controlled by the companies in the US, right? So Google Maps, Facebook, Twitter, now ChatGPT, right? So now, yes, you're right. So, but I think now we are ready. See, the resources, technologies are ready to build the better systems, parallel systems. Even if it's copycat at times, that's fine too. But they're enough to launch the product to be used at mass in India and maybe eventually for the whole world. But currently, you're right. So most of these consumer apps are being run by companies in the US. But I think now the entrepreneurs are really there enough now to really launch good products. Say Zomato is one example. So Zomato is not just used in India. So we use Zomato in the US before even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? Zomato was earlier the food review uh, site. So Zomato and if you see the Finacle, right? So I remember a few years ago, people used to ask me, give me the name of one product company which has made the global name, right? So, and I literally was not able to actually give the answer. Now there are global products coming out of India, and the Miss Sitaraman, the finance minister, said the focus should be on make AI in India, make AI work for India. So earlier we were making AI in India, but for the companies in the West, but now we should make AI for India as well.
true. And hopefully, with a council like GPAI, it'll be more easily distributed across the globe, accessible. Yeah,
GPI might not give more opportunities to create, rather that's more of giving the safety net and guardrails. But there are other programs like as again the consumers are growing and the government is coming up with grants and funds. And see, when country sees one success and other successes are faster, and we have already started seeing the success in the 100 plus unicorns and all that. So now I think we are already in the trajectory to kind of scale in any tech field. So I think government is all supporting and resources, and I think there is no one can deny India is it's a great talent pool for the whole world, right?
it is.
Yeah, but instead of we appreciating Indians are leading the US companies and the global company, I think we have to probably appreciate the Indian founders really creating the global companies, right? So, and it is happening. It's happening.
Yeah. Talking about AI, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how certain people have sounded alarm bells with regards to it. Like even Jeffrey Hinton, considered the godfather of AI, who quit Google recently, quit so as to warn public about the dangers of AI. In fact, he foresees it in warfare and all that. And even author Yuval Noah Harari has talked about it. Even Elon Musk has said about how AI can be dangerous. Is all that worrisome? Is that something, when people think of AI, they immediately think of a sci fi movie where there are AI machines controlling humans and all that. So, do you think, is that an eventuality? And is that what is, running on people's mind when they talk about all this?
I think there can be various motives for these people to talk about it, right? There are these people are definitely geniuses. So instead of they saying that I'm sure, and they should helping control or contain the drawbacks of these technologies instead of quitting and making these statements because they are capable enough to create the systems and help create the guardrails. But again, right? So any technology can be used for good and bad. And anyways, we are the creators, right? Humans. So, but yeah, we need to see how well we make use of any new technology.
Yeah, we definitely need to be monitored.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right? That's why the laws and all that. This now the GPI kind of council would definitely help.
Yeah. So, of course, we talked about how bullish the AI market is in India. In fact, this year it's valued at 680 million US dollars. And by 2025, they're going to value it at 7.8 billion US dollars. So, what industry do you think has the most potential for AI to, grow in? Is it agri-tech? Considering agriculture is still a mainstay for Indian economy, one of the mainstays, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think every industry, right? You agree. culture, agri-tech or health services, communication, grocery delivering, e-learning, entertainment. I think every field, travel, tourism, transportation. And yeah, I don't know at what rate, at what CAGR these markets in each sectors are growing, but I'm sure. See, it's a new field. Everyone is still exploring what more use cases, and all big companies they are now very clear they want to use AI right now. So earlier, what used to happen? So there was a problem. We need to solve the problem, and how do we solve the problem? Right? We use this technology or that technology or combination of that technology, right? That's the natural way of solving a problem, right? First you identify the problem and then find the alternative solutions, and then you choose the best solution. But now it's happening other way around. I think most of the companies are now saying, hey, we have to use AI now. Okay, we have to use AI, and now they're figuring out which problem to solve with AI.
Okay.
So, but that's fine. That's fine. No, but still, I think huge opportunity. Maybe few things are known, few things are unknown, but everywhere AI can be leveraged.
Okay. But there is an imminent threat of people losing jobs, whether it be in clerical work or even to a certain amount in administrative level. So do you think how can that be mitigated? Or is it the only way to do is through skilling them, or what can be done? Because that's the biggest worry people have about AI.
I think absolutely. So I think upskilling is the only solution, according to me. And everyone should upskill. So why they settle with whatever they are doing, continue doing the same thing for the whole life? I think if the opportunity is there, if there is a technology, you have to use it. So yeah, if you don't use again, there is definitely a risk of losing a job. But better learn that and make your job. Yeah, few job roles will get redundant and not be required, and there will definitely be job displacement. But with upskilling, we, as saying, see, not just the industries which we spoke about, but I'm sure the new industries will also come up.
Yeah.
There would definitely be the delta would be more. There would, I know there's one report is saying, hey, in the end we will have less jobs, but I've never seen that. When the technology increases, more use cases increases, more industries come up. I think eventually more jobs would be created, different kind of jobs, but more jobs would be created. And with upskills, and I think we should be able to get job. I was saying earlier, right, that we would be deficit of right professionals.
Yeah.
It's not a question of the jobs being eradicated. Jobs maybe changing some role in some form and some skills. But
Okay. You think that's the biggest impediment now, or is it the social perception? Or, I mean, I know there is funding now. So, it's what do you think the next step should be?
I think these jobs and all that's what it's just talked about, right? It's just in the media and some impacts are there, right? People are see when people are getting when they are the job loss news, the big companies are firing people, and I don't think it's just because of AI. It's not because of AI. Maybe there are other reasons in the market condition, and they earlier thinking of some new product to create, and maybe they're thinking that let's not take risk of creating a new product now. I think still people are figuring out what to do with AI, right? And even if few successful use cases are there, they are there, but a lot more can happen. Job loss currently, I really doubt if the number is that big to be worried about currently.
Okay. On a last note, what are your next steps this coming year?
Same, we are also figuring out what more use cases, and so now I'll tell you most all big companies, especially in India, most of them are in touch with us, and it's just identifying as one team which use case to solve, right? So as I was saying earlier, we used to tell them, hey, this technology helps, and they were not getting convinced. So now they are convinced this technology is going to help. But now we are figuring that out with the companies. Hey, let's pick up this use case. And currently, we are still in the process. If I just talk about the Gen AI use cases, we're still figuring out with the companies together. Let's pick up this function or this use case and try to solve it.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Ankush. It was amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much, Mahati. Very nice talking to you. Thank you. You came prepared. So many relevant questions. So many.
Yeah, it was a very insightful conversation, also. So, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you have any queries or feedback, you can reach me at maharanitalks@gmail.com or at Maharani Talks on Instagram. Take care.